I notice everybody's been very funny. I can't be funny tonight because I haven't slept for 5 days.
Oh.
Now, when a man says, I haven't slept for 5 days, if I hadn't slept for 5 days, I wouldn't be able to touch my nose with my finger or any of those tests they give you to see if you're sober. Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm going to smoke because I didn't smoke for 7 years. It's true.
No, wait a minute. You're not going to have this first cigarette in 7 years.
No, but I just did a movie in which the man chain smokes, and in the play I'm in, the man chain smokes, and so I stopped for 7 years. I was just interested in what Jack was saying. Yeah. So I'm now, you said 2 packs a day, it's 4 after 7 years. Oh. Also, you were saying about your hair. I just did this movie. This is 6 weeks growth. I was shaved completely right round. Probably in the lights you can pick it out. There's a circle, so, you know.
Yeah, but you knew it was going to grow back. It's a big difference.
I wanted to provide you with the feed because I know how bad it is to try and plug a picture. And you look very good, you know, with it back there. Anyway. Yeah.
But they shaved your head. Now,
yes.
Is it or is it not true, this story? You'd know.
Well, I can prove it.
No, I mean that Alec Guinness, they say, had his head shaved for a role some years back, and it never did come back.
Well, the only ironic thing about it is that the director, Richard Attenborough, of this film I've been making about Churchill, did a picture called Rillington Place, the famous murderer, Christie.
Rillington Place, yeah.
He refused to have his hair shaved under his doctor's orders. So I had a little meeting with him one day in Madrid, and he said, how do you feel about having your head shaved? And I said, well, I mean, if it's necessary for the role, I'll do it. Little did I know how I was being conned into that by the very same person who did not have his head shaved, but now, you see, he was the director.
So Attenborough would shave a man's head without shaving his own?
That's right. That's the way they are.
But it's coming back nicely. Say, I got to ask you something. I saw you on stage, I've mentioned this before, but I never asked you this question. I saw you in the other Pinter play with Donald Pleasance.
Yes, The Caretaker.
The Caretaker, yeah. And you had this scene that just gave the audience goose pimples. It was kind of a monologue, and you did it face front to the audience. And it seemed like you had a lobotomy, a brain operation. At least you played it that way, and there was some line in it about...
the pincers, it says the word pincers.
But
in fact, he had electric shock treatment. He didn't have a lobotomy. There's a slight confusion there. But anyway...
How do you play the difference between a lobotomy and a...
Straight out front.
Yeah.
Straight out front, and you just... the interesting technical thing about that, actually, because when we were making the film, which we made for the large sum of £18,000, I can't think what that is in dollars, it ain't too much, and none of us got any money. I have 15% of the gross.
Which is
and we have never received anything. Well, 15% of the gross, you never get a percentage of the gross, do you, Jack? Never.
Yeah.
And to this day, that film is still in the red. We have to send them money here in America for the publicity, for the advertising.
Yeah. And yet everybody who has seen it has said, you've got to see this film.
But that's the intelligent minority.
Oh.
That's what...
do you know...
Sorry.
Do you know anyone...
That's not the unseen majority, or whatever you call it here, the silent majority. It ain't. The only people I ever get appreciated by is the articulate minority.
Oh, is that so?
Sense,
is that so? Do you know anybody who's had a lobotomy ever?
Oh, I know many.
It's kind of passé, isn't it? Removing a piece of the brain.
Yeah, well, it used to be a terrible experiment. Doctors used to like to do that. They don't do it too often. Yeah. I mean, you know, medical history is pretty horrific, isn't it? They pass through phases when they give you lobotomies or too many pills or this or that because they don't know too much about it, I suppose. But they're advancing.
I know a story of a man who was a writer. A man on my staff knows him, and he had terrible violent attacks. And I mean, he became violent. And this was some years back, and he got a doctor to give him a lobotomy, but the doctor warned that he might lose his skill as a writer. And he had the operation, and he did lose his skill as a writer, but not the violent attacks. So he lost the one and not the
Oh,
other?
I know that fellow well, yeah, and there's plenty of them about. And actually, myself, to be honest, I believe that writers, artists, anybody like that should stick with their neuroses because I think it's part of their drive, roughly speaking. I know any psychiatrist would hate to, hear that, but personally, my complexes, my guilt, my violence, everything like that, are just what, makes me any good at all.
But
So-
Jack's been through analysis, and he's still good.
Don't say, when you say through analysis, it means like I finished or completed. You never complete it.
Oh.
They see to that. I'm beginning. And I'm beginning, and I agree. Not that so much. If your neuroses do not prevent you from
Functioning.
expressing how you feel and your doubts, as I believe Philip Roth was able to do in Portnoy's Complaint, as I believe that whatever Bob has done, I did Man in the Glass Booth, and I had the greatest time of my life, that if his neuroses have allowed him also to function, you can't do better than that. That's the best you can do. Function. If you're not functioning, then maybe you can go and do analysis.
That's
I
right.
believe that.
But if your arm became paralyzed for reasons that they told you were psychic,
Well, I mean, the difference between physical disease and mental disease is a hair's breadth, isn't it? And sometimes it's all mixed up in it. We can't, as amateurs or whatever you would call it, really talk very seriously about that. But very often you cannot tell which is which. Sometimes, in fact, people seem to be mentally ill. They're not at all. They're physically ill, if the doctor can find that out, and vice versa.
is there a word somatopsychic that's the opposite of psychosomatic?
Yes, you just made it.
He's doing these two plays. Give us a little clue as to the plot of the one you said was about violence and various...
Oh, well, my play in London is about, in 1819 in England, 10 people tried to murder the whole of the British cabinet. Murder them, like murdering the whole of the, And what they didn't know was that the leading conspirator was a government agent, shall we say a CIA man. He gave them all the money, all the grenades. They couldn't figure out how you murder the whole of the British cabinet at once. So they put an announcement in our famous newspaper, The Times, that there was going to be a dinner held by the whole of the British cabinet. There was no such dinner. All the poor fellows went along there. They were all arrested, and every one of them was hung, drawn, and quartered. That's what the play is about. Vanessa Redgrave is playing the leading conspirators there.
The agent lured them into that, too.
45 actors I've got in that cast. So one day, I went from seeing the first run-through of my own playwright with 45 actors. Then I go to, as an actor now, to Harold Pinter's play, Old Times, in which there are only 3 of us, in which I play a man who gets drunk and is worried about the relationship of his wife and her best friend. Then in the evening, this is why I'm so tired, because I haven't slept for 5 days with that damned strike at London Airport. In the evening, I had to go to Shepperton Studios and finish off little bits of Lord Randolph Churchill.
Oh, how do you know?
Listen,
who
I'm not
you-
asking for pity, because I know businessmen have to do this and all sorts of other
Yeah.
people have to work very hard, but that's actually what's been happening the last week.
I don't know which is worse in the acting profession, to have no work or 3 things at once like that.
It's always paradoxically bad either way. When you're working, it's terrible because you're usually doing rubbish, and when you're not working, it's worse.
And then if you're trapped in a play on top of that with somebody you can't stand, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had to go
many
on?
times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always pretend that they're my children. You know I got 9 children.
Yeah.
I always pretend it's my favorite son or daughter, depending upon the sex of the person opposite me.
Well, isn't it kind of embarrassing if they're 50 years old and you pinch
No.
their cheek or something?
No, you just look at them as if you like them, like I am you now. You see, you just look and you smile away. All you have to do.
What have I done?
Well, that's what I mean. I've played a lot of tricks like that. There's one famous actor I know, but I'm not going to mention because Robert Morley once said to me, you can say anything about actors you like in private, but there's a limit to what you say in public, and I've stopped that.
Well, tell us about the one you don't want to mention and what a rat he is.
Well, I just pretended he was my eldest son, that's all. So every time I look at him in the picture, I'm smiling away, and it's charming.
Has there ever been someone who couldn't stand you and you knew it and you didn't know why they couldn't stand you?
Frequently. I know within 2 seconds now if a woman likes me or not. If they like you, they laugh at your jokes. If they don't like you, they never do. That's my absolute test. You laughed, you like me, that's okay.
Yeah.
I always know.
And so that's true, I think, to a great extent.
What if
My
the
wife must hate me. She never laughs at me.
You just realized that not once
Well,
has she
I mean,
ever...
if the theory is
That's the
right.
test.
My wife laughs all the time.
Well, couldn't you have a humorless woman who loved you? And if you did, then you'd never know.
I suppose it'd be a great relief.
How are your apples?
Well, I've moved.
That's an old American expression.
Yeah.
No, you have an apple orchard, I know.
Yes,
You do.
Richard once came to dinner with me in England at my house, and I loved gardens, so we planted 3,500 apple trees. But I've left England, and I now live in Ireland. And right on the west coast, you can't see another single house from where we live, and we're 75 acres there. Because I have
nice.
to retreat from these American television raids and, coming into cities. I've grown to hate cities, to be serious. And there you can't see anything, and it's the last unspoiled coastline in Europe. We have this house where there's a lake, and they caught a 16-pound trout, brown trout, there, unpolluted, on Sunday. And there's 50 miles of this lake goes as far as, you can't, on a misty day, you can't see the mountains, and you cannot see another single house, and the drive is 1 mile.
Sounds, and in Ireland besides. But you have to kill yourself doing 2 movies and 2 plays
To afford
constantly
it.
to pay for that.
Right.
And you're not there now.
No, I'm not there now. There's 3 Irish fellows, helpfully and hopefully they're not members of the IRA, because I'm a perfect hostage. I mean, I am English, and
right.
maybe they've burned it up right now for all I know, but I hope not. Anyway,
Don't
we
give
should
them
get out of
ideas.
Ireland, by the way.
You English should get out of
I
Ireland.
think we should get out of Ireland.
Well,
I hate to side with one of the Kennedys, but, he caused a great stir
right.
in England, and...
yeah, they
they hate, but they won't listen.